We left our heroes. You all had been traversing through the Underdark after resolving a conflict between two warring Myconid colonies and halting a demonic incursion. You guys continued, led by your dwarven guide Wolfgar, through the tunnels underneath the Nelanther Isles, searching for a opening to Tolmet's Island, for a variety of reasons, some of which, you all had different personal reasons for going, including Lagartija, following up on the rumors that your friend Blue Jane had been seen there. As you made your way through the tunnels, as you got closer to the surface, you encountered a roving party of drow elves. They appeared to be carrying two of their own as prisoners. It appeared to be a scouting party of sorts as you, stealthed behind them. You gathered some information and helped some deep gnome guards who had spotted them to subdue and capture the drow elves. The guards were grateful and invited you into their nearby settlement of Blundstone, which you had heard of. You heard it was a deep gnome settlement known for its gemstone trading and its rich culture of tinkering and gem magic and things like that. So you guys decided to seize the opportunity and made your way into the city, following the guards through the secret tunnels, which led to the outskirts of Blundstone. Upon entering the settlement, you were overwhelmed by the sights and smells of the dimly lit cavern. You walked around the Trader's Grotto, as they call it, sampled some different foods, Emrys really expanding your palate there. You met a tinkering gnome who was a little bit of an oddball, but you purchased a variety of unique little contraptions from him, including some mechanical little beetles that he claims perform a reconnaissance, some exploding crossbow bolts, among some other things. Holt, you met a interesting fellow by the name of what was his name? Seldig, who he was an older deep gnome who claimed to be a former veteran in wars against drow elves and former warden here in Blundstone, a very high up, sort of respectable position in their military and government. You got to talking with him, a friendly guy. He gave you some advice on the town, told you good spots to do some shopping. You asked him about magic items, if there was a place to buy and sell. And he said there wasn't a dedicated place to, but he did say the Ruby Hall on the western side of the cavern was known to sell magical gemstones in the form of indulgences to its parishioners. You inquired a bit further, and the Ruby Hall was a temple dedicated to Segojan Earthcaller, the deep gnome god. So while Melanie went to secure lodgings for you all at the Foaming Mug Tavern and Inn, the rest of you decided to head towards the Ruby Hall. Seemed like they were closing for the evening. You were greeted by a Sverfneblin priest who did not seem to be the most friendly. He said you were welcome to, come to a service the following day, but they were closed for the evening. Perhaps, maybe on suspicions of him acting a little odd. I think it was Holt who had popped a use of divine sense. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep. And you sensed the presence of a singular undead within the temple. Regrouping with your party members, you gave them this information, and you all decided to investigate. Tiha, who transformed into a cat and looked for an avenue to get into the temple after closing and see what you can see. With Kalen's help, you entered a cellar window towards a sort of what appeared to be some sort of tomb in the bottom floor of this temple. Upon entering, it appeared as though there was a magical glyph you had triggered, which summoned a earth elemental. This caused quite the commotion as the priests began to yell and scream and exit the temple. The guards were alerted, and you all did your best to help Tiha escape, with Kalen, trying to usher her out and hide behind the building. Tiha, you dodged some blows from this earth elemental and turned into a gaseous cloud, while Holt and Emrys, you guys tried to talk to the guards and talk them down. As it seems, people in this settlement are naturally suspicious of outsiders, of surface dwellers. You were incriminated. Kalen, you were discovered on the rear of the chapel, and they had asked for you to come in for questioning. So the three of you followed the gnome guards, your not captors, but the enforcers of the law in the city, and they took you to the Speaking Stones, which seems to be the seat of power in Blundstone here. You followed a winding path of menhir standing stones towards a sort of small building, which was further underground. You descended some stairs, and Tiha, you followed in your gaseous form. When they entered inside, I think you turned into a spider or something, right? And fell down and landed on Emrys's shoulder and descended into the dungeons of the Speaking Stones with the group. As the guards explained the situation, they would have you remain here for the evening until Warren and Furball can review the evidence in the morning and make a decision. You were to remain here for the evening. So as you all entered your cell, Tiha, in your spider form, you noticed that the occupant you are sharing your cell with looked familiar. She was a drow elf who appears to be none other than your old friend Blue Jane. And that is where we left off. So, you guys, having been placed in this cell, the guards, kind of leaving you to your own devices within this dungeon for the evening. This is where you find yourselves. Your drow cellmate does not seem to be very talkative or even giving you so much as an acknowledgement, besides a small glance. She seems to be laying down with hands behind her head. She's wearing this sort of dark blue tunic, which almost matches her dark grayish purple skin, and she has this flowing white hair, which is a bit dirty right now. Of course, she has no belongings on her. She's a bit dirtied up, and you could see some scars across her face. Battle scars. She seems to be has seen her fair share of fights. But regardless, we have Emrys, Holt, Kaylin, and Tiha. Tiha in your spider form. You guys are probably unaware that she's here for now. What would you guys like to do?
I don't appreciate being dragged into things that result with me spending the night in a jail cell. Is this something that happens often to you people?
Tiha says to him, telepathically, "It happens more often than you think, Emarist, but I can unlock the door if you guys want, but I'm not sure if that's really going to help us."
I mean, we were coming here anyway tomorrow.
To the jail cell?
Well, maybe not to the jail cell, but to the wherever this is.
Yeah, I usually put people in things like this. I don't usually end up in them myself.
Looking around the room, is there a place that Tiha could hide potentially if she reverts back to her halfling form?
Yeah, there are some piles of straw, just mounds of dirt piled up. You can make do. You're pretty tiny.
Okay. Tiha is going to scurry out of the jail cell, be outside of it, and change back into a halfling.
Okay.
And address Blue Jane.
Sure. You go ahead and transform. The drow woman, she glances over, she looks up a bit, first, just seemingly in surprise, shock that this person appeared out of nowhere, but upon another moment of looking at you, she stops and freezes, and her eyes widen. She sits up immediately, and she says, "What? Tiha? This can't be." She kind of rubs her eyes in disbelief.
Tiha approaches the cell bars and kind of hangs her hands around them and says, "Blue Jane, oh my gosh, I can't believe I found you. It's been so long. Where have you been?"
She kind of looks to be in shock a bit. She rubs her eyes some more. You hear her utter something in Undercommon, which Holt, you could probably understand to be something like, is this a trick, some Swarfneblin illusion magic? She says, "Tiha, if this is really you, what monster did we fight on the 5th moon of Saloon 3 summers ago in the tunnels beneath Ultimald?"
"Oh, that's easy. It was a cave fisher." And
she says, "My goodness, it really is you." She pops up and kind of reaches for your arm between the bars.
And then we hold hands for a moment. But what on earth are you doing here in Blundstone? How did you get into jail cell? We saw drow elves patrolling, and they were taken care of. But you've never been part of that community. What brought you here?
You're right, I haven't, but unfortunately, many of these gnomes don't seem to care. They lay eyes upon a dark elf, and all they see is an enemy. I was on a job, pursuing a bounty on the island above, directly above Blundstone, when I was grievously wounded. I entered the tunnels to come back to the Underdark to find some sort of aid, a healer perhaps, but I had a run-in with a patrolling group of deep gnomes, and they accused me of being a spy for the drow of Zinzarenza, and I could not protest. They would not listen to me without any fair, trial or representation. I was thrown in here. This was about 2 weeks ago now, and I don't know what they intend to do with me. But I am glad to see you. This must be some sort of this must be fate. This can't be a coincidence. We were meant to meet here, I'm sure of it.
Well, let me introduce you to my party. Since things have changed above surface since you were captured and injured, because we haven't seen you for months, and the whole crew just fell apart without you. And so I ended up joining these galoots over here, and they're already in jail again, although that's partially my fault. In all honesty.
Partially.
I wasn't the one standing around looking suspicious, but the gnomes here are incredibly suspicious. And we came here to trade and to help out, and they immediately put us into jail the moment we stood around without anything. So looks like we're all in here for a while. I can try to free you, Blue Jane, if you feel like you could probably get out of here without being seen. But I'm not sure. Do you think you could move through the whole city?
She thinks for a moment, and she says, I'm not sure. I am, as you know, of course, adept at sneaking through the shadows, but this is the home of these deep gnomes. There are guards everywhere. The speaking stones themselves are, being watched over relentlessly. I'm not sure if I could do it, at least not alone.
Okay.
Are you a spellcaster of any sort?
She says, well, besides my sort of innate abilities, and she goes ahead and with a wave of her wrist, creates an orb of magical darkness, which encapsulates the entire jail cell, which blinds everyone, except I think Holt can see in this, right?
Correct.
Yep. It says, besides my innate abilities, no, I am not much of a arcane user. I'm good with a crossbow and rapier, though, but unfortunately all my equipment was taken from me.
Yeah, I don't have any way to disguise her, unfortunately.
I have greater invisibility, but I've got one. I could free us all, potentially, if I can find the keys. Or we can kind of figure out the cell, and then we could all try to leave, but we'd still have to get back to the inn and get our stuff and things like that. I'm not sure if that's of any interest to anyone. Or we can try to sit it out and try to negotiate with the leader here.
Are you on trial, or are they planning to try you for something, or just leave you here to rot?
They haven't told me anything. I wish I knew. I have a feeling they, if I had to guess, how they usually treat Dark Elf prisoners, they'd probably like to use me in some sort of deal, perhaps a hostage exchange. But once they find out that I am not with the Drow of Zinzarenza, I don't know what they will do with me.
I mean, I'd rather not, be on the run from these guys here. So why don't we just promise to get Bujin out of here before we leave this place, but just not yet.
Well, we must have some sway with Seldig.
If we had any sway, do you think we would be here?
He doesn't know that we're here.
Well, we did drop his name, I believe.
All right. Well, I can go and try to see if we can get an audience with him tonight so you guys don't have to stay in the jail cell. But I don't know if we can do anything for Blue Jane. I mean, I can speak for her, but I'm not sure how much word an outsider's voice will carry in the courts here. I can turn her into a gas and she could just leave, but it's only an hour.
Perhaps as a last resort, we could do something like that. Perhaps we can, once we meet with the relevant authorities, make the case to them that she be released into our custody.
Amaris, do you really have a lot of faith in the authorities here after the way they've treated you?
They've been quite efficient. I believe that we are suspicious to them. When we meet with them, we will be able to convince them that they are mistaken.
We were breaking and entering.
Some
but
of
we
us
never
were,
got caught
and some of
doing
us
it.
were not.
You clearly most of you were all just clearly standing around. Nobody was actually caught doing it. Because that was just me. And I'm better at not getting caught than all of you. Oh, okay. Bad joke. Sorry. All right. I just don't feel like I can leave Blue Jane here.
Does she look weak or wounded or anything, or just?
Not wounded. Maybe a bit malnourished. She's not like don't look to be any fresh wounds or anything like that. If you want to make a medicine check, you can to look further. But
well, if we still have like the fruit and nuts that we had gathered earlier, I mean, I would offer her some.
Yeah, sure. They just took, your weapons, not, everything out of your pockets. So, yeah, she would graciously accept some food.
Yeah, this will help you get stronger.
She says, "Thank you." Kaylin, was it?
Kaylin, yes.
I appreciate it. She, gobbles down some, raisins, whatever you got. She kind of clicks her tongue, like, these bastard gnomes. To think I was even going to help them. But, Tiha, you shouldn't worry about me. If I may ask, what brings you to Blundstone? Are you pursuing a bounty of yourself?
No, if you can believe it, I've gotten out of the bounty business. I've been adventuring with these chuckleheads. Yeah,
we keep coming.
Yeah, one person's in jail, one person isn't. So you better be nice to me if you want to get out there. But we've been seeking some answers. We may or may not have made an enemy, a very powerful enemy. and we're seeking means to destroy that enemy to protect ourselves and the land around it. But we keep making enemies apparently no matter where we go. Currently, I've been trying to figure out what's the issue with the circle of corruption. Their power has been growing and spreading, along with the power of a black dragon, who may or may not be after us. So we've somehow made a lot of enemies, and we've been trying to figure out ways to overcome them and keep us and the people around us safe. Unfortunately, we keep getting thrown into jail, and having these interesting side adventures. But right now we're trying to get to Tolmet Island. Is that of any interest to you, Blue Jane?
She says, well, yes, that's where I was right before I was captured, and that is where my mark still remains. You're after your fellow druids, did you say? Do you mean the Circle of Pestilence? I've heard of them.
Oh, Circle of Pestilence, yeah. Yeah, the Circle of Pestilence. I don't know, what have you heard of them?
She says...
Has word reached the Underdark of their activities?
Funny, yes, I was paid handsomely by a client in Dor Illifarn in order to track down some information about them. But my mark now is coincidentally also a druid, not one of the Circle of Pestilence, but she is an archdruid of Wildfire, daughter to one of the great elven druids of Dunscae, Voragmir, the Eternal Serpent, as he is known in some circles. If you all want to roll a history check, well, if you're kind of local, you can. I would say, which is probably most of you. Kaelin definitely. Tiha, if you want to, you can. Emrys.
I'm a backwoods halfling. What do I know?
I don't actually remember where Emrys is from. But you could also roll a history check if you want.
I don't think he's local.
Alright. Well, Kaelin, at the very least, you would have heard the name. There's a sort of legend that goes around of an elven druid named Voragmir, who made a sort of pact with an all-powerful serpent. Some stories say he made a pact, other stories say he slayed the serpent, and he took his immortality. And this now half-man, half-serpent lives sort of, among... well, it's unclear where he lives. It's one of the many mysteries of Dunscae, but many, wizards and foolish sages will go about seeking him in search of immortality. So you've definitely heard the name, Kaelin. And, Blue Jane continues that Eofor is the daughter of this Eternal Serpent, Voragmir. She explains that she is the Archdruid of the Circle of Wildfire, daughter to Voragmir. She resides on Tolmet's Island, at the crater of the volcano, I believe. However, it is not so simple. She has a young red dragon in her employ. The Ronin, he is called. That is the last time I was up on Tolmet's Island. I did battle with the red dragon. And although he was small, he was ferocious, and I was by myself. I was grievously wounded, and she kind of lifts part of her tunic, and you see, some burn scars and scratch marks. So I came back here.
Oh, Jane, you idiot. Oh, how could you took on a young red dragon by yourself?
Well, my client did not disclose that a young red dragon would be present. If he indeed did know, I am certainly going to increase my fee, that's for sure. But the main target remains Eophir, and I do think it's prudent to slay the dragon as well, as if it grows, it could become a problem for the people here in Blundstone. But I tried to tell them, but they don't want to listen to the words of a drow elf.
Well, we're certainly familiar with the problems of large dragons.
She says, "Is that right? Have you also had an encounter?"
Yeah, he killed us.
I wasn't there for this.
Well, technically.
It killed some of us.
Yeah. I think it was Hasraf's fault, if I remember correctly.
Wouldn't want it any other way.
Would you
Do
guys...
I know...
Sorry, go ahead.
Do I know if Blue Jane has any talent with, like, thieves' tools and opening, that sort of thing?
Oh, yeah. She
Okay,
does.
so, like, we left her with thieves' tools. She might be able to, like, get out by herself.
You think so, yeah.
Okay.
At least get out of the cell. As for getting through the city, she seems a bit more reluctant on that part. She would continue, though, with her just a little more information about her mark. She says, Eophir, the elven woman, you brought up the Circle of Pestilence earlier, Tiha. While I don't believe Eophir to be a woman of ill intentions, of evil intentions, my client does believe that she knows the location of the Archdruid of the Circle of Pestilence. So my hope was, and still is, to get this information out of her. Bring her in alive, but if she resists, I will do what I must as part of my job. And I suppose now there is the added complication of slaying this red dragon as well. As she appears to be in league with it in some sorts. I can't imagine that they are coexisting on bad terms, so...
Blue Jane, what? I don't understand what you were thinking. You were taking on an archdruid and a red dragon by yourself? Like,
well,
of course, I'm
the
surprised
archdruid
that
I
you're
could
even
handle,
alive.
Tiha, but
You can't even
the
use
red
a
dragon...
spell. How are you supposed to...
The red dragon was an unknown factor. But as you know, in our line of work, or your former line of work, you can't account for every variable. These things happen.
Well, as you always told me, you gotta think on your feet, but clearly this put you on your back. So, all right.
You've grown more wise, Tiha.
I'm not wise, but I've definitely seen the benefit of having some strong friends at your back.
Oh,
All right.
now we're strong friends.
You big galoots.
Speaking of strong friends, where exactly is Melanie right now?
Sleeping.
She's at the inn. All right. So it sounds like we need a plan of attack. You guys don't want to be freed right now. So should I go get Melanie, and we can try to negotiate with the authorities here to see if we can't free you for an audience with what's his name?
Seldig?
Seldig.
I think Seldig is going to be the one that's going to help us get out of here.
I mean, what we did for them by helping them earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I really think we should leave the drow out of this, and I think that's going to be more of a prison break right before we leave from here, because they're not
Yeah.
going to let her go.
No, they're not going to let her go, and they're going to start torturing her soon. They're not going to believe. And I could say whatever, but
I
okay.
like the greater invisibility. I think that works well, actually.
Yeah. Um
Blue Jane says, Tiha, if you're planning to leave, don't expect to just walk out of here. Unless you turn into some sort of insect again.
A rope.
I used up all my wild shapes.
Seems like you're spending the night in here too, then. Or at least a little
Maybe.
while.
I mean, I could use greater invisibility on Jane and myself, and we could just leave. And then she would have the opportunity to sneak out of the city, and I can go back to the inn unseen, and then we can seek an audience with Seldig to get you all out.
But once they discover that she's not here, that's going to kind of compromise our situation.
Potentially, but what could you have all possibly done locked up in your cells? You could just tell a story of how she escaped.
We could say she was never here in the first place. Throw them off your trail. I like this plan. You should get her out of here, if you can. I can help with that if needed.
I suppose getting her out at night is better than in the daylight hours.
Well, I'm coming back here for her either way, and I think it's probably safer for all of us if we don't have to come back and break in to get her. I wouldn't make you all do it like I may not have done with the pets at that one pet shop, but that was a volunteer only situation. But you all had a lot of fun with the puppies. That being said, we can.
Are we done? Like, is our work done here?
I think so. I mean,
Okay. I mean, we're already under suspicion of doing something. I don't know if they're going to point the finger at us again if she disappears while we're here.
well, I'll let this be a group decision because I know this affects all of you. I would like to come back and get her. But I mean, I can do that secretly on my own, I guess, after you guys are all freed. I can come back as a gas and come back and do greater invisibility and sneak her out.
I mean, if it's up to me, I mean, from a vote perspective, I would say let's get us out of here first and then come back for her.
I say we wait here till the morning and kind of plead our case to Seldig. He does owe us. And then if that doesn't work, then we figure out another way to get Blue Jane out.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I will be staying here until they call me in for whatever interview they have planned. But if you all want to leave, I'm more than happy to help you get out of your cells.
Blue Jane kind of looks to you, Tiha. She says, don't put yourself at risk, and don't put your friends at risk for my sake.
If we break out, we lose all our bargaining power.
Right.
I say we just rest here for the night. We did nothing wrong.
Agreed.
Great. Okay, then I'll go get Melanie, and we'll see you guys in the morning.
Very well.
All right.
Sounds
All
good.
right.
Have a drink on us.
Yeah, I think we'll be. I think she's probably having a drink for sure. But I'm gonna go get some sleep because this has all been very, very stressful.
You hear some footsteps coming from above the tower staircase, sort of adjacent to the dungeon. And you hear some shouting in Undercommon. Keep it down there! What's all the commotion?
Your mom's down here with us.
I didn't think.
Do you actually say that?
I didn't think we were being that loud.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So
I kind of elbow Holt over there.
all right. The door opens, and
I turn into gaseous form before I hear footsteps.
Okay.
Chicken shit.
All right. You have the spell slot for that.
Yeah, I have the spell slot.
Sure. He so a deep gnome, one of the guards who appears to work here, walks right up to the cell, right past the gaseous form, leaving the door open that he entered from. He says,
Holt got a big shit-eating grin on his face.
Says, in Undercommon, which one of you is talking bad about me, mother?
I'm just kidding. We're kind of bored. Do you have any games, any cards that we can use?
Says, listen here, you little shit. You're gonna spend the night here, and I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure you stay here another night, and the next night, and the next night. And you won't get any games.
We'll see what Selvig says about that.
Are we all in the same cell?
Like some outsiders would know Selvig. Yeah, you're all in the same cell.
And we don't have any of our equipment with us?
You have your equipment, just not like any weapons you were carrying.
In that case, what do I have? I know I want to say chess. I've got so much stuff in my backpack, you guys.
Yeah, me too.
It's like a truly ridiculously large backpack, just to reiterate that. There's so much crap in here. If you want games, I got games.
All right, that's good.
And
The gnome in Undercommon. He says, what's he saying? He better not have any games in there.
I have my dragon chess set right here.
What's he saying? I can't understand common.
I'm debating on messing with this guy. I'm gonna cast
Oh no.
command and command him to dance.
Okay. Sure. That's a what, wisdom save?
Yeah.
He saved somehow. He got an 18. And so what's your spellcasting focus? Or I guess it's just verbal. You probably don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, I do have the Rod of the Packkeeper, but I think my spell focus is actually my glaive, which I can actually just shunt into this area if I wanted to.
Well, either way, I don't think you need it for this spell.
Yeah.
But he will immediately take a step back, and he'll start shouting in Undercommon. He says, "Magic! Magic! They're still using magic!" And he begins to run for the door.
Nice halt. You're not helping our case any.
You're getting all of us in trouble again.
Look, these guys are just guards, right? I think once Seldig gets here, we'll be fine. It's just, I'm bored.
Well, then play friggin' chess.
Yes, I have a chess set right here. Let's have a game.
All right, let's do it.
He goes to
I'll set
close
it
the
up.
door. And what are you guys doing? Playing chess?
Yeah.
All right.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
Looking innocuous.
So Tia, you're in your gaseous
Ti-
form. It lasts for an hour. What are you doing?
Tia is floating out of the fortress and is trying to also remember the pathway back to. Because, I mean, she is going so slowly that she can probably remember the path back.
Okay.
But she's just trying to get out of the fortress kind of without being seen. And then once she finds a dark corner in the streets, she'll turn back into a halfling.
Damn, the spell is so good.
Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. I'm just a little cloud.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely, easily get out through some cracks in the stone. I don't see a need to make you roll. So yeah, you do that. You find yourself in the streets of Blundstone. Going back to the tavern.
Yep, headed back to the tavern. Got to get Melanie, inform her, be ready for an audience tomorrow to try to bail our friends out.
Sure. Okay. Do you want to roleplay that now, or do you want to just say get your long rest and take care of it in the morning?
Let's get her long rest and take care of it in the morning. Yep.
Okay.
Moving things right along.
All right. So the rest of you spend evening in the cell playing chess. Begin to fall asleep one by one, and sleep takes you, and you awaken the next morning to some rattling on the door to the dungeon. Well, actually, we'll do Tiha and Melanie first. Tiha, you are woken by a loud knock on your door. I don't know if you were sharing a room or got a separate room, but either way, Melanie jolts you awake. Says, Tiha, are you all right? Where's everyone else?
Oh, sorry, Melanie. I forgot to tell you that they're all in jail for looking suspicious.
Again? Oh, goodness. Well,
These gnomes are just incredibly suspicious. We're basically walking on eggshells. I followed them to the jail last night, and I was able to speak with them. And our plan is to go and try to get an audience with the local leader, Seldig, and see if we can't negotiate their freedom. They haven't actually done anything wrong, and they haven't been caught doing anything. So, honestly, this is just, well, it's just straight up discrimination against outsiders.
She says, yes, what else is new? It seems everywhere we go, this is the case. But nevertheless, I had something I wanted to share with you, but perhaps I should wait till everyone is together. What should we head over to the jail?
Yes, I think we're going to need to go see the head guards and try to get an audience with Seldig. Otherwise, I don't know. It seems to me like this place has a tendency to just lock people up and throw away the key. But we got to get them out.
This is all right. Very well. Let's go then. So as you guys make your way over there, the rest of you are awakened in the morning to sound of some rattling on the door, and two figures enter the sort of hallway outside the cell that you are in. They are both deep gnomes, of course. One of them is just wearing a standard guard attire. He's sort of glancing at you with a dirty look, Holt. The other, he is wearing these regal red robes adorned with gemstones, golden buttons, and a bunch of other, kind of intricate patterns. He is bald on top, but has like some long kind of bluish hair on the sides that extend down into these blue kind of mutton chops. And he's wearing this golden necklace that hugs his neck tightly. And he looks to you all, and he speaks in common. And he says, well, you are some lucky prisoners indeed. And he takes a keychain, and he unlocks the door. And he says, Warden Seldig spoke very highly of you. You're free to go.
Well, thank you very much.
I'm definitely gonna do like an exaggerated, wink at the other guy.
Sure. As Blue Jane kind of leans up a bit, and he goes, not you, I'm afraid. Not just yet. The quorum of wardens still has some business with you, I'm afraid. And as you all step out, he locks the door again behind you. Says, I'm not sure why Warden Seldig expressed so adamantly that he wanted your release, but he was very adamant that you were innocent and this was a miscarriage of justice. And, we are in no position to disobey the words of our great former borough warden and hero to Blunstone, so you're free to go. Just try not to cause any trouble, please.
Well, we appreciate the free accommodations.
Kind of smiles.
Did you guys get your
nothing
weapons
compared
back?
to the foaming mug. You're not there just yet. You don't have your weapons right now, but you can assume, upon exit, that's...
I'll tell you what, as soon as they open the door and let us out, I'm going to immediately summon my glaive to my hand.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. You sure? You want to wait and see what is beyond the door?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Say that again?
I said, are you sure? Do you want to wait and see what is beyond the door? You
the door we're walking out of, we don't know what's beyond the door?
They just let us out of the cell, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about, the door to the, outside of the dungeon to the sending stones to the building itself.
Okay. Yeah, I'll wait.
Okay.
I thought we were out.
Kalen is going to turn to Blue Jane and just say, don't worry, we'll see you again.
Okay.
And he gives her some more nuts or fruit.
Okay. Sure. So you guys exit the hall of the dungeon here. They lead you up the stone tower which you descended from. And there are some more guards beyond that door that just follow. And they take you back to the surface level, not the surface level, but the surface of the base of the cavern here. And you find yourselves once again sort of in the open air to the cavern in Blunstone, amongst the ascending stones, the menhirs surrounding you. And standing there is Seldig. He appears to have been waiting for you. And he, kind of strokes his long gray beard, and he says, "Thank you, Warden Furball. I appreciate what you have done for these fine folk. I will be responsible for them from here." And the warden just kind of says, "Yes, most honorable Borough Warden Seldig. They are all yours. And he just kind of chuckles and says, "Ha! I will keep them out of trouble, don't worry." And he just starts to walk away from you guys with his hands behind his back as he walks. Then he kind of looks back over his shoulder. He says, "Well, are you coming?"
Yeah, we'll follow him. Do we have our gear?
Yes. At this point, the current warden Furball, he will say you can grab your gear in the armory just over there. And so you guys can go and grab that real quick.
Cool.
As
we start,
we follow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as we start walking away, I just want to ask Seldig, look, part of the reason why we got into this issue, I detected some form of undead. Do you know anything about that?
Says, yes. He just kind of laughs. He says, "Well, if that's what this is all about, you should have just asked me in the first place. It is, I understand it may appear a bit peculiar, but it is harmless. You see, the priests of the Ruby Hall, they keep the old prophet warden sort of half alive in the crypt, so to speak. The first Earthcaller, he is called. They cast a gentle repose spell on his body. I think at every service on the first 10 day of the week. And the belief goes that his body is turning into crystal. The longer that they perform this rite, and finally, when he is entirely turned into a gem, he will ascend to the seat beside Segojan Earthcaller. Says, "It is but a custom. I know it may seem strange, but then again, what religion doesn't have its quirks?"
If you say so.
Can I do an insight check on that?
Yeah. 19. Yeah, I mean, there's something about this guy. He, he seems very warm and trustworthy, Kalen. He's got like this, he's clearly very old. Clearly, everyone in this city, respects him. He almost has a larger than life presence that is a bit, I don't know, not intimidating, but it's just curious. But you don't get the sense.
He's on the up and up.
Yeah. As far as you could tell. But as you follow, he leads you through the winding maze of sending stones, and he says, "I received a vision from the Earthcaller in the evening yesterday. A vision of demonic incursion that none other than you, brave heroes, helped to halt." And he stops and turns around, and he says, "I liked you when we first met, but I know the Earthcaller sent me this vision for a reason. You are brave heroes, adventurers. Felling a demon lord is no small feat, and to not have to do that all without any proper recognition, well, that, I believe, is the mark of true heroes. I couldn't bring myself to let you sit in that cell any longer. And I know Great things are planned for you ahead. Indeed, indeed.
What of the drow that shared our cell?
He says, yes, it is
What's in store for her?
It is lamentable, the state of affairs in which our people regard and treat the drow elves. I know it seems unfortunate, but you must understand there's a long history of war and distrust between our people. Many of the drow are under the influence of the evil goddess of spiders, Zinzarenza. And unfortunately, that makes identifying the good ones quite difficult. It is not unlike the influence the Lady of Rot held over the Myconids, who you helped quell. He says, however, if you can vouch for that drow elf, I will see what can be done. I will lend you my aid, but understand, even my power in the city has limits. I can help you, but convincing the current Warden Council, the Warden Quorum, to allow her to go will be a monumental task, and not very possible, I think. I think your best bet is to attempt to sneak her out, perhaps with a disguise. I will do whatever I can in my power to assist you, as I believe this is what the Earthcaller wants of me, to assist you heroes in any way I can.
If you truly think sneaking her out is the best way, that is what we shall do. But if it's possible to trade with the rulership of this city for her freedom, as you just mentioned, we are adventurers of some ability, it would seem. Perhaps the city has need of our services.
He sort of strokes his beard and he says, I see. Yes, that is a very nice offer, young Imris. I was going to ask you for to lend your assistance to the city myself, but I don't know if the current quorum of wardens has the best interests of the city at heart, unfortunately, so I don't know what they will ask, if anything, unless you had something in mind.
No, nothing in particular.
Says, I am aware that a young red dragon has been growing in the crater of the volcano above us for quite some time. My friends in the Warden Quorum don't seem to think of it as much of a threat, but I'm old enough to know that pretty soon it will be large enough to burn this entire city to a crisp. It will hunger, and when it runs out of prey on Tolmet's Island, I'm sure it will seek other avenues. The Duragar, other enemies of ours, often revere red dragons, and I worry that they will make this discovery and try to lure it down below. So I would like to see it dealt with sooner rather than later.
Are you aware that the drow elf was almost killed trying to kill the dragon?
He says, no, I was not made aware of this. I had not spoken with her. This could change things. He says, It will not be easy, but perhaps we can attempt to convince the quorum to allow her to leave with you on the condition that the dragon is dealt with. If you find this preferable to sneaking her out, I will assist in what way I can.
She does know where the dragon is.
He says, I do have some business to attend to right now, but think about it and discuss with your friends. You can find me wandering the paths of the Trader's Grotto this evening. I often like to grab a bite to eat at the Salamander Barbecue. So, if you need to find me, that's a good place to bet on it. But if I don't hear from you, I will come seeking you. And stay out of trouble, please. I don't know if I can break you out of jail again.
Another barbecue, you say? We will surely meet you there.
Yeah.
It's marvelous, marvelous indeed. So, may the Earthcaller guide your steps.
Thank you again.
Yes, thank you for your assistance.
Yeah, it's very appreciated.
He says, of course, I'm just, I just wish for the best for my home and my country. And I'm sure you all feel the same.
If only there were more like you.
As he begins to depart.
Holt's gonna immediately turn to Kaylin and be like, are we really gonna go mess with another dragon?
I mean, if that's the way to get Blue Jane out. I mean, it's not my first choice.
At this point, Tiha and Melanie, you guys would probably, be within eyesight of the group, so you guys can meet up again. Melanie would rush up and say, "Oh, you made it out! Tiha told me you were in jail?"
Yeah, Seldig came through for us like we had hoped.
Oh, he seems like a good fellow. I'm sorry I wasn't more help. I just wasn't feeling very well last night. I fell right asleep. But I do have something to share with you all. Some mixed news, I suppose. If that's okay.
What is it? You don't look well.
Well, just a bit frazzled, and you can kind of see she has her sleeves rolled up, and you could see her lightning scars on her arm look a bit red. She says, "I received a vision last night from the Storm Lord. Yet another one. He doesn't seem to want to leave me alone, but this one was the most vivid yet." He was using the image of my husband to call me, beckoning me back to the temple in Masum. I am not sure why, but if my husband is related, if there's some information, some knowledge that can be gained from the summons, then I think I need to answer it. I'm sorry to say this so abruptly, but I think I need to take my leave and return to Masum at once. I have already spoken with Wolfgar, and he has agreed to travel back with me. And I hope you don't try and talk me out of it. This is something I feel I must do. After all, despite my misgivings, I do owe my life to the Storm Lord. I really shouldn't be alive right now anyway, but I'm being called, and I think I need to answer.
Well, Holt will kind of look at Melanie and say, I am willing to travel with you. I'm not too keen on dying again. The first time against the dragon was enough for me. And I'm not a huge fan of being underground any longer than I have to be. So if you're leaving, I would love to join you, and we can at least watch each other's backs for a little longer.
She kind of looks and she says, that would certainly make myself and Wolfgar feel safer traveling through the dangerous tunnels of the Underdark, if you're sure, Holt. But how do the rest of you feel? Would you be okay continuing on your own from here, at least for now?
I think we have another path we must follow. We need to find what's causing the scourge on this land.
Emily says, I see. Did you learn some new information?
We may find out some more.
Says, very well. I did not expect for our paths to diverge so soon, but it is never a bad thing to have allies in different places. She says, looks to you, Holt, and she says, before we depart, I think you all will need this more than I. And she pulls out the dragon-slaying sword, Thedrix Ascalon. It's a blue glow glistening in the fairy fire that is illuminating the caverns, and she hands it out. She would, just really offer it to you, Kaelin, just to hold on to. She says, I'm not sure if you can use it yourself, but if you're able to use a longsword, just spend some time with it, and its magic will take, and you'll know how to use it. It's a very powerful relic. If this dragon continues to pursue you, you'll need it.
Kellen takes the sword and just kind of like holds it reverently and like, thank you for this. We will kill that dragon, and perhaps by going our separate ways, we can keep him off your backs.
She says, yes. I almost forgot to mention, when we parted ways yesterday, the sword let out a blue glow for just a moment. From what I understand about it, that means a dragon is close by.
And Holt's going to hand over basically everything except for the Stone of Good Luck, which he purchased himself, the Rod of the Pack Keeper, because I think that's appropriate for him, that he wouldn't give up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll link these.
Sure.
So he still has 5 regular healing potions, but those items I think belong to the group as well. I mean, this includes the Helm of Comprehend Languages as well, and the Pearl of Power. But keeping the 2 items that are more appropriate for him.
Gotcha.
I linked it in Disc.
Yep. I gotcha. Melanie would, also impart a few things to you all. She would probably want to keep her winged boots, but she does have a potion of acid resistance that she will bestow to you all. A dagger of venom she doesn't really use. Some other potions I will, I have to look through her inventory, but I'll get you guys, a list sooner. She kind of looks to you all and she says, "Thank you for understanding." She looks to you, Tiha, and she says, "Tiha, is this... How are you feeling? Is this all right with you?"
Well, a party is always, made up of people who want to be there. And if you don't want to be here and you are called somewhere else, then you're called somewhere else. But we will miss you, and I will miss fighting by your side.
She says, "Thank you." She gets down on her knee and gives you a hug. She says, "This isn't a final goodbye. I'm sure of it."
Well, may there's good fortune in front of you and the wind at your back. To you too, Holt. We wish you all the best.
Thank you. I will certainly miss all of you, and I wish you good luck against whatever dragon you're fighting next.
There always seems to be another one.
You will always be keepers at Dunscae,
Oh yes, that's right.
no matter where you go.
Well, he says, "You're right, and there is lots of corruption all across the land to watch out for, so we will do our part wherever we go." She says, "Well, Holt, I have my things back at the inn. Would you like to accompany me whenever you're ready?"
Yeah, I'm ready. I'd like to see the sunlight.
As would I. And, yeah, I guess if that's it, you guys say your goodbyes, and probably Holt and Melanie would walk off.
Fare you well, erstwhile party members. Fare you well.
And then there were 3.
Quite generous of them to leave so many of their belongings with us.
Well, we bled for these belongings.
And we're gonna need them. And he looks at the sword, and especially this.
Well, I'm gonna go break Blue Jane out of jail, and then we can continue on our merry way to the Isles.
Well, I can't talk anymore.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Who are you talking to?
So we are.
I'm talking to Emrys and
There's only 2 of us here now.
Well, I was about to offer to help you with that. I suppose I must have been looking at you in a strange way.
Well then,
so I imagine I'm outnumbered, and we are not going to try to plead our case to the quorum.
why would we do that?
Well, Seldig himself thought it was a good idea to break her out.
Well, Selden was wise enough to let you guys free, but what did you wait just a second, hold it. So you guys discussed Blue Jane with Seldig? Like, what did he say?
So
Instead... Go ahead.
Go on. He suggested that we, quite surprisingly, he said that we should break her out. But there was also the possibility that if the quorum knew that she had fought the Red Dragon, perhaps we could arrange to have her released on the condition that we go fight said Red Dragon.
Wait, so you volunteered us to fight a arch druid and a red dragon? Volunteered?
We didn't volunteer anything quite
There's
yet.
3 of us. Ugh,
Well,
I
Blue
liked
Jane would
my
make
life.
4.
I liked being alive. Amaris, you were saying something.
I was saying that we would be 4 of us with Blue Jane.
This is true.
That's true.
So should we go argue it, or should I just break her out? We would have to leave immediately, though, if that was the case. But since you've already promised that we're gonna go fight this effing dragon,
We promised.
No promise was
promised
made.
no such thing.
There
It
is
was
the
all-
dilemma, however. If we do approach them about this in regards to freeing Blue Jane, if Blue Jane then subsequently goes missing, the suspicion will fall on us.
then we can never come back here.
Indeed.
I could live with myself never coming back to this place.
As could I, but all things being equal, I would prefer not to be run out of town.
Amaris, you guys have complicated everything. Fine. Let's go to Seldig and get her out. And just promise that she's on our, I don't know, under our security, whatever jurisdiction. I don't know what they call it.
Yes,
Let's
we
just-
will take responsibility for her. Something like that.
Wait, so are we going to bust her out, or are we going to argue and try to?
I just never wanted to come to Blundstone again. This place sucks. Ugh. If we have to, I mean, will we have to come back if we do all this right to report what happened?
No.
Not necessarily. We could always just go on our merry way, and they'll assume we died fighting a dragon.
Okay, well, that's a good plan. Let's do it.
So yeah, going to see if we can convince them to let her go.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work, then we bust her out.
Yeah, and make a break for it.
Sure. It's probably still on the side of the morning. Did you guys want to do anything with your day? Did you want to just go and try and find Seldig right away, or later in the evening?
Well, Kalen would want to go back to that trader to get his compass that he had left there.
Oh yeah.
So he would probably, at the next opportunity, kind of take care of that business.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, you could definitely make your way over there. You're probably not far. How about the rest of you guys? The rest of you, Emerson, Tia.
I have no business except eating food at every food cart I come across as we go find Seldig.
All right,
At
so
some
we'll
point.
meet him
Nice.
back at we'll meet him back at the food cart when he's done with his compass, and then head to the prison
Okay,
and see if we can get audience with the quorum.
gotcha. All right. So how about we use this chance? Can we maybe take a 10-minute break? Come back
Yep.
at I don't know, 50.
Sweet, let's
Sounds
do it.
good.
Cool. All right.
All right.
See you guys in a bit.
I didn't say that.
John.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing. I can, however you want to do the intro, I can adapt. So you just say the word and I'm good to go.
Okay, yep, I'll try and get it in sooner rather than later.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'll probably have Seldig introduce Hack before you guys depart.
Yeah, my kind of plan was, I think I kind of wrote it, right? It's like Hack's been chomping at the bit to get the hell out of here. So
Yeah.
he sees people from the surface and he's psyched. So that's kind of how I'm going to play it.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I gave you a character sheet on Roll20 as well. I know you prefer to use D&D Beyond, and that's fine. I just filled in some basic stuff, just your HP, AC, and passive wisdom, because I like to have that on the Roll20 tokens, just so I can, glance at them quickly.
I'll fill the whole thing out. It's cool. I put in HP in there, or no, I put armor class in there, and then I put his picture in there too. So he's good to go for the time being, but I'll definitely fill the whole thing out.
Gotcha. All right. So I think we have everyone back, except Nicole. Nick and Phil, you guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, Kaylin, you were headed back to the Tinkerers to get your compass. So you make your way there. The bright purple wagon. The signs, Eowyn the Bright. He, kind of greets you. Says, "Oh, hello, you're back. Yes, your compass. That's what you're here for, right?"
Any luck?
Says, "Well, a little bit. There's some good news and bad news. Which one do you want first?"
I'll take the good news.
Okay, the good news is I was able to fix it up a bit. It seems to have stopped spinning randomly, at least when you pick it up. Watch this, and he puts it down on a surface, it spins kind of wildly like you saw it. But then when Eowyn picks it up, it kind of stabilizes and points in like a northeastern direction, right? And it steadily stays there. And he says, "Oh yeah, there were just a couple of gears out of place, but I think it's mostly working as intended now. The other thing is there still is a magical aura on this compass that is masking the true nature of its magic. Now, I'm able to, get a sense of the mechanical parts, but I wasn't able to, pinpoint exactly what arcane spells may be affecting it." Kind of twitches a little more. So I'd suggest, if you can, maybe taking it to a more experienced wizard of some sort, and maybe he could tell you exactly what it does. But I'm curious. Why don't you hold it and see which direction it points in?
Okay, let me try.
Okay. So you hold it, Kaylin, and the compass, it stops spinning, and it stabilizes. It points towards the west, probably like west southwest.
Okay.
And you're not sure why or how, but
and it pointed northeast or north for him.
Correct. And when you stop holding it, it continues to kind of spin and go crazy.
Well, thank you for trying. I mean, I suppose a semi-working compass is better than a non-functioning compass.
He says, yes, I'm sorry I couldn't be of more help, but don't worry, it's free of charge. Since you were such
Free.
gracious paying customers yesterday, of course.
Well, I appreciate that. And then I take out the scarab that I was holding, and I give that back.
He says, thank you. You're not interested in holding on to it?
Well, I think I was just holding onto that for collateral, so to speak.
Ah, yes, I recall now. If you're interested in purchasing it, it's only a cool 200 gold.
That's okay. My friend had purchased one or more of those, so...
Goes, okay, understandable. Well, thanks for doing business here. I'm just happy to have the privilege of working on a strange new gizmo, so thanks.
Thank you. And hopefully I will figure out what its true purpose is one day.
If you ever do, come back and let me know.
Well, I can't promise that, but...
That's fair. Alright, probably Emrys and Tiha, you guys are making your way through the Trader's Grotto here, trying all sorts of unique foods and drinks. Emrys, you try some dumplings, which are filled with strange meat, which has a unique taste, until it's not bad, until the merchant tells you that it is, in fact, hook meat, minced hook but, it's still not bad. There's a nice kind of sour paste that it goes with, all other manner of strange and exotic food and drink that they have down here.
Gotta be taking a toll.
There are some desserts that like these little kind of almost like macaroons, like kind of cookies or whatever, that are pretty delicious. They're a little bit expensive. They're 2 gold a pop, but the merchant claims that they give you resistance advantage on being charmed for 1 hour after you eat one.
Okay. Let's see if that is true. Do I have... I actually don't think I have a spell for this. Can I insight check that claim?
Sure.
Do I have any reason to distrust it?
Not necessarily. I mean, it's it's an elderly, gnomish woman. She says, "I bake them myself every morning. They are delicious. As for if they, if the magical properties are as they say, with a 22, I'll say, yeah, she seems on the up and up. You have no reason to doubt her. Seems legit.
Then I will buy 10.
Okay. 10 macaroons for 20 gold. Call them Deep Gnome Anti-Char macaroons, so I remember what they are.
Okay.
Anything else you guys wanted to do or look for in the grotto here, or just did you want to wait to meet up with Celtic?
Am I there?
Yeah, you can meet up with them whenever you like.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that all the jewel-based tattoos, since we lost Holt and Melanie, we've got Melanie did a lot of digging. We've got a lot of extra tattoos, so yeah.
You guys do see one individual in the grotto here that catches your eye. It's notable because he is not a deep gnome, but is in fact a dwarf. Appears to be a smith, kind of working out of a little makeshift forge in, some, I don't know, looks to be some community space or something. There's a small smelter and anvil set up. Do you want to introduce Hack Holt?
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
Scott.
Yeah.
That was last
So
time.
what I just posted is kind of what he's doing to you guys right now. And he kind of, from a distance is looking at all of you and kind of shaking his head, and he's quickly approaching, but he's lumbering. Like, this is a pretty big dwarf that's he's in what looks to be like a lighter plate armor, but he approaches all of you and he looks intently into like all of your faces and he says, "Oh, praise more than you're from the surface?"
Originally, yes.
Oh. Are you heading there anytime soon?
Do you need us to
Not
take someone a
soon
message
enough.
for you?
Well, look, I love gems and I love rocks and I love mines and tunnels and all those things. And I've been in here for over a year. And it's all they talk about. They talk about nothing else. I gotta get out of here. It's obnoxious.
What's
I
been
just
keeping
need
you?
to know that you're heading there at some point. Please tell me that's happening.
Certainly.
What's keeping you here?
Well, I owed them a life debt for number one. I recently was released from it, thankfully. I've been sitting here doing as much as I possibly can on the forge. I'm a crafter. I'm an armorer by trade. But I actually ended up here by accident. My entire clan, my family, there was a cave-in and an earthquake, and I ended up in the Underdark. And long story short, gnomes found me, saved me, brought me here. I've been here for a while. But as far as I know, my entire clan is dead. Me ma and me da, all together. But I survived. I've been here. I've been paying off my debt. But I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna go crazy. Crazier, maybe. What say you?
I should think that he would certainly accompany you to the surface. I have every intention of leaving the Underdark at the earliest possible juncture.
We're not planning on staying here long, but we don't always take the easy way out.
That's a good
she-
point to make, yes.
Tiha glares at her companions. You guys always make things more complicated than they have to be.
Tia, let me ask you something. Are you ever responsible for anything bad that happens anywhere to anyone? Is it just us who are the source of these consternations for you?
That's more of a philosophical question, right?
I suppose so.
Am I responsible for all the wrongs in the world, Emerus? Am I responsible for us getting attacked? Never. Somebody is always attacking us. It's never me attacking them.
Is it just a coincidence?
Well, I think you should pray to your God about that, because I, being the sad, humble halfling that I am, I have no answers for that clearly rhetorical question.
I think maybe we should ask Blue Jane. I'm sure she has some good Tia stories she could relate to us.
No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. Jane?
Oh, where are my manners? Sir Dwarf, what is your name?
Oh, yeah. My apologies. I didn't introduce myself. The name is Hack Axe Crack of the Axe Crack clan. I just want to say Axe Crack a lot. That's all.
It's a true tragedy that your entire clan perished, and that the Axe Crack name will not continue on into the future except by your own efforts, I suppose.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
terribly,
unfortunate.
terribly sorry about your clan.
Yeah.
My name is Emrys.
I am Kalen. My family too was lost a long time ago.
Well, it's well met to each of you. Like I said, I would appreciate the ability to accompany you if you are truly headed to the surface at some point.
Well, I'm happy to have another person who I don't have to break my neck to talk to all the time. But we're on our way to collect another member of our party to the surface. Right now, you're welcome to join us, but you can also go and ready your things to prepare to leave.
Actually, yeah, I don't have anything with me right now. I'd love to go grab everything that I own and say my goodbyes and thank yous, and I'll meet you wherever. Just please don't leave without me. I can't take this anymore.
Well, we're at this particular inn right here. If you can meet us here this evening, we'll leave together the next day.
Deal. I'll see you in a bit then.
Very good.
All right. Just as you're about to leave, Hack, you all see Seldig approach from not too far away. He told you he was going to be around the trading grotto, and it appears you've crossed paths with him again. He says, friends, I see you've met the Honorable Hack Axecrack.
Yes, we have indeed. We've agreed to journey with him to the surface.
I see. And, have you finished paying off your debt there, Hack?
Just yesterday, yeah. I was celebrating last night a little bit. But,
marvelous.
Yeah. Sad to say, I'm gonna be leaving as long as there's nothing else that you have for me.
Well, we'll miss having a good smith around these parts, and something tells me you're not exactly that sad. But I certainly will be. And he kind of looks around. He says, perhaps this is a blessing, an omen. It appears you are down some of your friends, and it appears you have gained a new one. Marvelous.
Yeah, I enjoyed my time here, and I definitely thank you all for saving me as you did and nursing me back to health. But I think my time here has come to an end, and I'm planning on traveling with them out in the morning.
And Soldig kind of looks. And did they tell you about the dragon?
What do you mean?
Yes. Well, they have agreed, if the quorum agrees, upon the release of their friend, in order to fell a young red dragon that has taken up residence in Tolmet Island, just above our fair city.
We would not expect him to join us in that endeavor. We are just traveling and travel companions.
Hack is good with an axe, no?
Yeah, it's a warhammer actually, but yeah, I didn't know anything about the dragon.
Yeah, that's not your burden to bear.
It's true, but yeah, I'm not afraid of a dragon, if that's any consolation. I'm happy to help.
This Hack here is a great fighter. He helped out in many monster invasions that got a little too close to Blundstone, whether it be carrion crawlers or behirs or even umber hulks. We've had our fair share of those we fought off, haven't we, Hack?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I am a divine warrior of Moradin, so I'm definitely capable in the martial arts. I'm not afraid of a fight or anything like that, so I'm happy to stand between you and damage if necessary.
There may be multiple dragons.
Oh, this just keeps getting
Let's
better, huh?
talk about this. It's rather foolish to say one's not afraid of dragons. But we would be happy to have your warhammer on our side for sure. If you are comfortable, doing that, we do compensate our party members quite well. But obviously, we bring with us a variety of different challenges from our previous adventures, and you don't have to, but we would welcome it.
I like that there's a disclaimer now when you guys are at the new party.
But we will pay for burial expenses.
Oh, that's promising. I like it. Well, I'll say this. We'll play it by ear. Let's get out of this Underdark area in the morning. I'll make a decision at that point.
Well, then gather your things, friend, because adventures await.
All right. I'll waddle away.
All right.
He's a bit slow, isn't he?
Yeah.
Seldig kind of looks to you all, and he says, have you decided then? Will we be trying to convince the quorum for Blue Jane's release, or will we be sneaking her out?
Vote for sneaking her out this evening. But if you guys want to go the lawful way, I can be convinced.
Kellen looks to Emerus.
I just think it's worth a try.
All right.
So
Because if we fail breaking her out, that could hurt our chances with the quorum.
Seldig
All right, let's go.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because I already arranged a meeting with the quorum for this evening.
All right, let's go get us an elf.
He says, yes, make any preparations you need, and we will head over to the Sending Stones. He looks to you, Tiha, and he says, your friends told me that Blue Jane was intending to fight this dragon, and I think that makes her an ally of Bluntstone, not an enemy. I think once the quorum knows this, they will look upon our requests more favorably.
Very encouraging to hear.
We hope so.
He says, well then, I will be at the Sending Stones. I'll be waiting at the first menhir. Come and find me this evening, and we shall head in.
Until later, then.
He says, if you don't mind me asking, which one of you is the most, convincing?
I think it's pretty clear that I would be.
He certainly convinces it himself.
Says,
quite often.
What else do you need to know?
Says, I see. Kind of strokes his beard, and says, now, allow me to do most of the talking, but I'll need you to back me up, Emrys.
But of course.
Marvelous. I'll see you tonight, then.
Tonight.
All right. He departs. Anything you guys want to do before going?
Just taking copious notes as I sample every food truck I can find.
Okay. Yep, there's a couple more good ones. You got some interesting gumbo that looks like there are rocks floating in it. That one wasn't your favorite. of variety of more mushroom dishes, which you're more inclined to stay away from because you've eaten plenty of those down here already. But the best seem to be the smoked and barbecued meats of the different Underdark monsters that have been slayed and cooked up. Each prepared in its own unique way. The Umber Hulk is pretty tasty.
Nice. I definitely took a few gold off for that one.
All right, nice.
So Kalen would kind of offer up a toast to if there's a drink handy to Melanie and Holt. And he would say to the friends we have met along the way, and to the friends we have still yet to meet.
Cheers. It's a shame I didn't have an opportunity to get to know Melanie and Holt better. But I'll never forget them and how epic our battle was against Zugtoy.
Quite a moment. Well, let's pour one out for our homies. And
Totes.
get ready for this meeting with the quorum. Emerus, do you have any ideas of what you're going to say?
I imagine I'll just be following Seldig's lead. But I was probably going to paint it as a kind of exchange if they wanted to make it difficult. Our dealing with this dragon in exchange for your friend's freedom.
So as you guys finish drinking your nice, tasty, imported dwarvish ale that you purchased here in the grotto, letting time pass till the evening. Kalen, if you don't have a point of inspiration already, you can give yourself one. That was a nice little toast. But yeah, if you guys are ready, you can, we could say the evening comes, and you could start making your way towards the sending stones.
I'm gonna eat one of those macarons.
Okay.
Right before the meeting.
Sure.
Do I feel protected?
Kinda. You can't really sense anything, but you wouldn't know for sure until someone tried to charm you, I guess.
Okay.
Alright, so you guys make your way over there, meet up with Seldig, and begin to walk among the path of the sending stones. He explains to you that there are 5 burrow wardens that you are going to be meeting with as part of this quorum. Burrow Warden Furball is the most senior one. He is the one that you saw this morning. He is the warden of the Ruby. There are other ones too. There's Emerald Warden Ugnan, and a couple other ones. He describes the Emerald Warden as this bright green cloak. The Diamond Warden has this bright silver cloak, and you start to see the pattern. Describes that the sending stones, or the speaking stones, excuse me, I keep saying sending stones. Speaking stones are a sacred place, so act with respect and reverence for this most holy place of Segawan Earthcaller. after a bit more walking, you round this small little hill with a path of these black monoliths flanking you on either side. It is just a bit eastward of the dungeon where you were kept, on the sort of surface level, with the the fairy fires on the cavern ceiling, just dimly illuminating the sky and your surroundings. As you approach, you see the quorum of burrow wardens all sort of sitting around, each with their glowing, colorful gemstone robes, all with very similar hairstyles. They all have these long grayish beards, and going bald. Some have a little bit of hair parting at the top. The Topaz Warden has a set of spectacles and seems to be peering at you all closely with skeptical eyes as you enter. Whereas Warden Furball appears a bit more welcoming. He says, "Most honorable Burrow Warden Seldig," and they all sort of stand up and bow. And he says, "It is always a pleasure to have you grace us with a visit." And Seldig goes, "Oh, enough with the formalities, Furball. Let's get down to business, shall we? Now, I am here with these friends of mine I have made. Yes, outsiders, one and all. On behalf of their friend Blue Jane." And Topaz Warning says, "Ah, yes, the drow elf." He says, "Now, I realize I had spoken to you all previously about the young red dragon, which makes nest just above our humble city. But I did not know that this drow, before capture, had an encounter with it." And they all sort of look to each other, the wardens. They mumble. And they say, or Warden Furball responds. He seems to speak for most of them. He says, "Master Seldig, yes, we apologize for not relaying this information to you. However, that is really a matter for the current governing body to deal with, and as someone who is not involved in any official capacity any longer, we didn't think it necessary to tell you." And Seldig goes, "Oh, yeah, whatever you have to say. Look, I'm just concerned about the well-being of our city. Now, these fine folk here have agreed to venture north, above our tunnels, and confront this young red dragon, and nip this problem in the bud, so to speak, before it grows ever larger. Now, most of you are too young to remember, but when I was but a boy, I will never forget the Duragar of Gauntlgrim, and the adult red dragon which they had tamed and fed it rocks and gemstones till it grew large and fat and ferocious, and he sent it upon the tunnels nearby. It took a miracle of the Earthcaller, an alliance of dwarves and gnomes and other surface races, to fell the beast. And ever since, our fair city has sunk more and more further into the shadows, further away from prying eyes, from trade, from other peoples and other societies, when that is no way to bring us into the future. We need to cooperate with the other races, with others of different creeds. He says, just like these heroes here, who stopped a demon incursion just outside our doors. And, they start to, look a little convinced. Clearly, they all respect Seldig. But Warden Furball kind of scratches the back of his head. He says, most honorable Warden Seldig, we heed your words with great reverence. I understand where you're coming from, but we are merely performing the will of the people, the fair people of Blundstone, who have elected us here. Why should we trust these outsiders? Seldig just kind of says, I find them trustworthy, but I think they'll need to convince you themselves. Isn't that right? He gestures to you all.
And Emrys will step forward and say, yes, indeed. I don't know whether this information is common knowledge, but the demon Prince Zuktmoy made a small incursion into this plain not far from here, not long ago, and was stopped by ourselves, this group you see before you. I would say that is one reason, perhaps a big reason, to trust us.
You're interrupted by the Topaz Warden, and he goes, Zuktmoy? What is that, from a children's folklore? You'll have us believe that the three of you stopped a demon lord of folklore? I don't believe it.
Well, we had several other party members with us at the time who are not here present today, and I believe the form Zuktmoy took was weaker, more vulnerable than would have been under different circumstances, perhaps, but nevertheless, a serious incursion from the abyss, thwarted by we few who stand before you.
Seldig says, it is true. I have seen visions of the Earthcaller, who has told me that these heroes have felled Zuktmoy. And Ugnan, if you do not believe me. And he throws over a sapphire gem out of his pocket to the Topaz Warden. He says, have your alchemists examine the Fair's Rest embedded within that gem. I am sure that they will tell you that they can sense the influence of the abyssal plane within. It is no fiction that the demons were at our doorstep, and if not for these brave heroes, we might have had a much grander problem. They'll sort of kind of talk amongst themselves. Emrys, can you roll a persuasion check for your words from before? And I'll give you advantage because you invoked Zuktmoy.
All right.
Despite the Topaz Warren seeming skeptical, the other ones seem to, be more
there we go.
receptive. 26, nice. Warden Furball says, there's no need for that. Speaking about seemingly the alchemists testing the gem, says, of course we believe your words, Warden Seldig. However, to release a drow elf that unlawfully entered our tunnels, our lands, well, this would reflect very poorly on the Porum. The people would see us as weak. I don't know if we could do it.
Have you ever seen a grown dragon?
Not personally, but I've heard the stories.
don't want to see one. Trust me. We have seen one. The havoc that they could wreak.
Wise and noble lords of this city, if it's simply a matter of convincing the people, then perhaps this drow captive could simply be made to disappear somehow. It need not be an official act.
That can be arranged in the quorum. We do need her to show us where the dragon lair is, but we can make arrangements with the quorum's unofficial blessing, of course.
Warden Furble kind of strokes his beard a little more. He whispers something to the Diamond Warden who's sitting next to him. Go ahead and... well, all three of you kind of chimed in there. So either two of you can roll persuasion or one of you can roll with advantage.
Do you want to take it, Nick, with advantage? And
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll try again with
your best
advantage.
odds. Nice. Good rolls.
All right.
24. Warden Furble kind of leans forward. He says, if some sort of plan were to be set up, we must ensure that it is not traced back to the quorum. Are you sure you truly need the help of this drow elf to fell this dragon?
Going
There's
into
no
a
oth-
dragon's lair, information and planning are essential. She is
There-
indispensable.
There are also a series of confusing lava tubes around the actual crater, and we will need a guide.
Make a deception check, Tiha.
Oh, well, that's not... I didn't mean to deceive them. I feel like that's true.
Do you know what's true, though? Oh, it's okay.
Yeah,
I won't make you roll if that was not your intent. But
No. Yeah, like, I mean, it's a volcanic crater. We're in lava tubes underneath the islands. I just assumed geologically. But, all right, fine. I take it back.
no, it's okay. They kind of ponder everything you guys have said. They take a moment amongst themselves. And Seldig says some final words. He says, please consider this decision carefully. I think it is long past time for the people of Blundstone to look to outsiders not with distrust, but with open arms, if we are to survive in this increasingly complex and dangerous world. And they put it to the vote. There's 5 of them. They begin the proceedings, and after what seems like a bunch of waiting, Topaz Warden votes no. He does not sanction the release of Blue Jane. The Emerald Warden will vote yes. The Sapphire Warden also votes yes. The Diamond Warden votes no. So it's currently 2 votes yes, 2 votes no, with Ruby Warden Furble, the last remaining vote. He says, takes a deep sigh. He says, very well, Sildig. If this is what the Earthcaller has called upon you to do, then who are we but mere mortals to stand in the way? The Drow Elf can be released tonight, but you all must leave the city at once, with her in tow.
No argument there.
A very wise decision.
You will, for the time being, to protect the image of the Quorum, be branded as enemies. We will tell them that if any questions are asked, you snuck in to the Speaking Stones, to the jail beneath, and broke out your friend the Drow Elf. Now, upon successful completion of your task, killing this young red dragon, we will revise the story. Perhaps it was the Earthcaller's will that the Drow were to escape. And perhaps a new, more fruitful relationship can be established with not only ourselves, but other outsiders as well. Does this seem like a fair arrangement?
If this is how it must be. But I would prefer not to be branded a lawbreaker when such is not the case.
Says, if your task is completed, then you will have no such thing to worry about. We will grant you an official pardon, and we will even throw you a parade through the streets of Bloodstone as the slayers of Zugtamoy and the slayers of the dragon which threatened our city.
Compelling. A gnomish parade.
We need no parade.
True, we don't need one, but I would be curious to see what it looked like.
We'll worry about those details after the task is complete.
Then I believe we have an accord.
Indeed we do. You have until midnight tonight to leave with Blue Jane in tow. And he fetches some guards. He says, I will accompany you, and we will explain the situation to her, if you are ready.
We are ready. We plan to return to our inn tonight, and we can take off immediately. We are collecting one more after this.
Very well. So, you all head down following Warden Furball down into the dungeons. Seldig gives you a nice thumbs up, Emrys. He says, well done, my purple-haired friend. That was very, very convincing indeed. You do have quite a way with words.
As do you. As do you.
I think
done.
you're
We
all...
can accomplish with words what need not be accomplished with violence.
Well said, well said. I think you're doing a great service for our city, and it will not be forgotten. You have a friend in Seldig Earthcaller. I can assure you that.
Well, shall we go get Blue Jane out and get this party started?
Pick up Hack and then bust her out.
We need to get her weapons and her gear too.
Yep. So Seldig kind of puts on a cloak, like a sort of cowl wraps around his head, seemingly to hide his identity, because he's pretty famous down here. He, wishes you all well, and he says, if I do not see you before you leave, thank you all once again. May the Earthcaller guide you, but more importantly, keep fighting for good and for justice, for there is much corruption and evil infecting this land, but as long as heroes like you all are around, I believe that there is hope. Hope to see you again one day soon.
Godspeed, Seldig.
All right, so you descend down into the jail, where Warden Furball explains the situation to Blue Jane, who looks confused at first, but then, kind of a wave of relief and happiness washes over her. You can recognize some more of your old friend in her face, Tiha, as she says, well, what are we waiting for? Let's get me out of here then. Warden Furball says, well, if you don't mind, for the time being, I can't have you walking the streets looking like that. So he reaches a hand through the cell and casts disguise. He casts alter shape and transforms Blue Jane using his illusion magic into a human. And she looks like Holt. Says, yes, this should not arouse any suspicions. She doesn't look exactly like Holt. The proportions are a little off. The nose is a little bigger. The eyes more far apart. The hair maybe a different shade. But it appears as though he tried to recreate his likeness with just off of memory. I don't want any panic to ensue in the streets when a dark elf is walking through. I'm sure you understand. But hopefully this will be the beginning of a better relationship between our people.
Well, let's go back to the inn and let's leave this place. Thank you, Seldig, but we are very eager to be on our ways.
That was Furball. Seldig is gone, but he says,
Furball,
of course. And best of luck out there. I do hope you succeed. All right.
Back at the inn.
So you guys walk through the streets, back towards the inn. Blue Jane kind of examining herself, looking at the backs of her hands and her arms and legs. It says, oh, this is kind of weird, Tia.
Don't worry, you're very good looking.
She says, thank you. And as you guys walk, she kind of whispers in your ear, Tia, hey, it's been a while, but you don't happen to have any what was it called? Sorry, I had a brain fart. I gotta check my notes. She's looking for a substance that Tiha you are familiar with. Yes, a drug. I just forgot the name of it, and I have it written down here somewhere. Where is it? Well, anyway, she asks you if you've seen this thing. I'll call it skooma for now, TBD. I think I gotta change the name. She says, it's been weeks. I've had this itch, especially for going into a fight. I really, it really makes me more alert, more ready, more accurate with my crossbow even. Do you happen to have any?
I think I might have a crossbow.
No, not a crossbow. I'm looking for skooma. You know, the red stuff. Is it a little vial?
Do I know what she's talking about, or do I not hear this?
Make a Medicine check. Actually, make a perception. What's your passive perception?
Passive perception is 18.
Okay, yeah, then you definitely hear. With a 12, you... You're not sure specifically what the substance is, but you've heard of it before. Okay, I'm gonna change the name. I'm gonna call it Gaze, not Skooma. You've definitely heard of it before, Emrys. So it's some sort of herbal supplement that is likely addictive, but you're not sure beyond that. So she's asking you, Tiha, do you have any gaze, or have you seen any?
No, I don't know. I haven't seen any around here. I mean, it hasn't really been all that important to me. I highly recommend we just leave and try to find it on the surface. I don't think you should try to ask around here at the moment. I'm not sure how long your disguise will last.
You're right. I agree. I was just wondering if you happen to have some. Nevertheless, let's continue. I'm eager to get out of this human skin as quickly as possible.
So she seems a bit like unsettled then, right?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit unsettled, a little bit antsy. You guys make your way back to the inn, though, where I think Hack is waiting.
Yep.
Okay. We'll see you meet up. So now that Hack has all his equipment and stuff, Scott, do you want to, like, describe him, like what he looks like, what he's got on him, and what he's wearing?
Yeah, so, you know, he's fully decked out at this point. He's got a shield strapped to his back. He's got, it looks like kind of funky plate mail, or plate armor, I should say, but it looks lighter, maybe a little more flexible. His hair is not laying flat any longer. It is like the picture. It is in a mohawk.
Nice.
Definitely shaved on the sides. Beard is very well taken care of, so it's well braided. It looks like it's combed and nice. But outside of that, he just has on his shield the symbol of Moradin. I believe it's a raised hammer and axe. And, I mean, pretty typical dwarf. Nothing out of the ordinary. Definitely looks ready for battle, and battle worn for sure.
Nice.
Right on.
All right, so you see your new friends walk in with a new human in tow. But yeah, leave it to you guys.
So yeah, Hack will stand up and introduce himself to the new person in the group. Hack Axcrack, good to meet you.
Blue Jane just kind of does her best human voice. She says, "Oh, I'm Holt."
Oh, all right. This is the other one you were gonna go fetch. Says that to Kalen.
Sort of. Just go with it.
Oh, all right. Well, tell you what, round of drinks for all my friends.
Yes, one for the road. We have to leave, like right now.
Oh, I thought we were going in the morning, but right now is fine. He starts to tear up a little bit, actually. I love these little buggers.
I thought you couldn't wait to leave.
Oh, that's true, but you know, they saved me life, and I do love them. It's just can't stand them.
Well, perhaps we'll be able to save them.
Yeah, if, you know, killing a dragon will save them. I'm all for that. Is that the plan? I mean, we're saving this this city here if we go after a dragon. That's the quest.
The plan, apparently, there are people who are very concerned about this tame dragon. There's been stories in the past, so of just rampaging dragons in neighboring cities. So nip this problem in the bud. We're doing this whole city a big service.
Well, I'm probably throwing my hammer in for that one then. I know my debt's paid, but they're still kind of my family at this point, so whatever we gotta do, let's do it. I'm fine getting out of here now.
Perfect.
All right. So after a quick round, Blue Jane says she knows the tunnels quite well leading out of here. If you all are all right traveling through the night, we should be able to make it to the surface of the island by tomorrow morning.
Fine by me. Let's go.
All right. So, you exit through the southern gate of the city, going through the stone maze led by the guards that led you in. You pass through that, pass through the large iron towers that stand at the precipice of the Underdark Wilds and Bloodstone. As you hear the iron gate close behind you, and begin making your way through the tunnels. Maybe your 100th step or so past the gate, you look back, and the tunnel looks completely different than from how it did when you walked forwards. You don't see any signs that there is a settlement nearby. So you could tell the illusion magic that these gnomes employ is quite powerful.
Truly impressive what they can do.
That's true.
So, Blue Jane, her human appearance drops. She fades away. She no longer looks like Holt. She once again looks like the drow elf that you know her as, Tiha.
Whoa, by Moradin, are we under attack?
No, this is my old friend Blue Jane. We used to be bounty hunters together, and I've been looking for her for months. No, she's going to help us find the dragon. She actually fought it and was injured by it a while ago and has since recovered. But we need her for the success of this expedition, and I would trust her with my life.
Look, a little bit of a heads up next time, maybe. I mean, communication's important among a team like this, so just, that scared the hell out of me.
He makes
Fair
a
enough.
good point.
Perhaps you should get used to it.
Yeah, I guess. Well, good to meet you, even though I've never met drow I've liked, so no pressure or anything.
Blue Jane bows and crosses her arms, which you know to be a symbol of peace in the Underdark. She says, "Well, I hope to change your mind, and I hope to be the first."
All right, fair enough.
She says, "I know my way through these tunnels quite well. I did traverse them not long ago, after all. There's a winding spire in a cavern just southwest of here. It's a bit of a climb. Would everyone be all right with that? It's the fastest way, I assure you."
Certainly.
Marvelous. Then let's go. So you walk for a bit, an hour or so, and you come to this smaller cavern, but it looks to be very tall. You can't see a ceiling, and when you talk or, so much as breathe too loudly, you hear it echo all throughout. One of the walls has a slight slant to it. By slight slant, I mean like a little less than, I don't know, 90 degrees, maybe 80, something like that. It looks like it's going to be hard to climb. It is jagged. There are kind of footholds. But this seems to be the path that Blue Jane wants to take. She says, I know, Tiha, you can do this no problem. Kaylin and Hack, you seem to be pretty athletic. I'm sure it'll be fine. But Emrys, I am a bit worried about you. Will you be able to make it up?
I should think so. I can't see any reason why I can't climb something easy like this.
All right, very well. So Blue Jane starts off. She begins climbing. The rest of you follow. Is there any particular order you would like to go in?
Well, under normal circumstances, Hack would lead, but I don't want to fall and kill the cat.
I would follow behind her.
Okay.
I guess I'll go second to last, so Hat can be last. And I'm going to use my class ability. What's it called? Not really for climbing, but just in general since we're out here. Bastion of Law. That's what it is. I'm going to put 5 sorcery points on that.
Okay. Nice. Noted. All right. So you begin climbing.
And Kaylin's gonna cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay.
On the party.
Sure. Easy enough. You'll get a +10 to stealth. Does that mean you're trying to be stealthy and sneaky right now, or just in case it comes up?
Just in case.
Okay.
I mean, I'm always kind of aware of being stealthy, but...
Yeah. Basically, do you want to roll a stealth check right now? Or do you want to wait? In case
I'll wait.
Okay.
Until it seems more... right now we're just kind of climbing up the mountain, right? Like,
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys climb for 20 minutes or so, and there appears to be a gap in the stone above you. Blue Jane notices. She says, rock must have fallen since I last came this way. And she does a little jump to get to the next portion of the wall here. And she just makes it, just barely. A piece of rock falls after her, tumbling towards the ground. She says, "Oh, be careful there." Kaylin, if you'd like to attempt this, I need either an athletics or acrobatics check.
Okay.
$10. Again, that's the DC. You just make it. Jump to the next platform. Just barely grab Blue Jane's hand, and she helps lift you up.
Wow, that was steeper than I thought.
Tiha, how do you want to cross this gap?
I think Tiha is going to turn into an ape. And I'm just checking the stats on the ape.
Sure.
So it's got +5 to athletics.
If
climb
you do that,
30.
I won't. It has climbing speed, so you could just go around it. I won't make you
Okay,
roll.
cool. We'll just do that.
Sure.
I'm an 8.
What the hell? Remember where we just talked about giving me the heads up?
I just said I tell him telepathically. I told you. I said out loud, I'm an ape. What more warning do you need, man?
Do we have to tell this guy everything now?
I didn't know you were actually turning into an ape. That's crazy.
We like to keep people on their toes.
I guess.
Is Emrys going to attempt this jump?
How far is it again?
It is about 10 feet, but it's more like the vertical kind of positioning of it. It's just like there's a rough gap where it's not like something we would use like the strength jumping rules for. It's like you have to kind of position yourself to grab the next handhold, which there's no other place in between to climb on, so you have to jump.
So it's like a dino move in climbing, like a big jump up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Is it? And it's about 10 feet.
Oh yeah, aren't you like a climbing instructor or something?
I used to be. Yeah.
I didn't know the word for it, but there you go.
He needs all the details.
Yeah.
He's making some calculations.
Does he get like a bonus?
Sadly, Nick's climbing skills do not translate to Emrys.
Emrys is going to get out some rope, and he's going to cast a spell
Okay.
called Rope Trick.
All right. That's a good one.
So hopefully the extra dimensional space will not be needed, just a rope that hangs on its own
Mm-hmm.
along this gap so that we can use it to climb without having to make a jump.
Yeah, sure, definitely. So yeah, it is perpendicular to the ground, but you can definitely, position this rope in between the gap here, and just kind of grab that and leverage it and sort of swing across. So nice. I won't make you roll for that. You can just do that, and then Hack, you can easily do the same as well, and not risk falling.
Okay, no roll or anything?
Not if you use the rope. You're good.
All right. That's
All right.
awesome.
You're certainly welcome to risk your life by jumping.
Not my strength. I appreciate the rope.
I'm glad more than one person got use out of it. The rest of you did great at jumping, though. You definitely almost didn't die for no reason.
All right, you guys continue up a bit. Maybe another half hour of climbing. You're starting to get a little tired, a little winded.
So hold on. Like, are you like a part ape? Like, what's going on here?
Is he talking to Tia?
Yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
You're the only one who's an ape.
So Tia turns to him in ape form and tells him telepathically, I'm a druid. I can be in this form for an hour, but it really helps for climbing and for throwing things at people, including feces. It's really a fantastic form.
Oh, okay. I got that message loud and clear.
Shall we continue?
Yeah, please.
All right. As we continue up a little more, looks like the end may be in sight, according to Blue Jane, but you don't see it quite yet. You all are starting to get really tired. Can I have everyone roll a Constitution saving throw, please?
Do I use my ape form?
Yes.
Or am I...
Yeah, 8 form. +9, Hack, you're fine. You do this in your sleep. Nice, natural 20 from Phil. Oh, even Emrys, a pretty good one.
Oh, something to mention too. So anybody within 10 feet of me gets +4 to their saving throws.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's good. Actually, I mean, Tiha, even with your climbing speed, you'd be fine. Yeah, so everyone is pretty good. No one getting exhausted just yet. And just after that, you finally make it to the top, towards another tunnel. This one, very moist. You can sense the air is a lot more humid up here. There is a lot of green moss growing on the side of the cave, and little insects running back and forth as Blue Jane lights a torch. She says, "It's not much farther now."
I'll go first, or at least side by side with the drow if I can.
Sure. Kind of looks at you. Hello.
Hey there.
So you guys walk on an upward slope through this tunnel a bit. When Emrys, with your passive perception, you sense some movement of shadows as you pass by this tunnel that are not your own.
I guess I'm in the back of the line, so I'll hiss forward to Tiha if this is still the order we're in.
Yep.
Quiet.
Yep.
Something moves over there.
Can I make a perception check?
Sure. Let me make some rolls. Okay, you see hiding behind a rock is a short humanoid figure. See brownish green ears peeking out.
Okay. I tell him telepathically what I see and say to ready his weapons.
Blue Jane yells, "What's the holdup back there?"
We are not alone.
At this point, you see 3 goblins jump out from behind this rock. One of them yells first something in Goblin, and then yells, "Hold it! Drop all your stuff!" And there are 2 of them are pointing crossbows at you. One of them has a little rusted dagger. Does anyone understand Goblin?
Nope.
No,
One of them...
but we have the hat of many languages. So I assume that one of us was wearing it.
Well, I think that requires... No, it doesn't require attunement, does it?
No.
Well, regardless.
Hack would like to, regardless of whether he understands it or not, he's going to smash his hammer on his shield.
Okay.
And just laugh heartily and kind of get into a battle stance, but he's attempting to intimidate them.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and roll an intimidation check. I mean, 16, there are a couple of little goblins. You're a pretty scary looking guy. They definitely look pretty scared. You can tell, you can't tell exactly what they were saying, but you can tell the 2 smaller ones are maybe saying to the leader, like, "Hey, maybe we picked the wrong group to ambush."
Bless you.
Thanks.
Bless you.
Then he says, the one that speaks common, he says, "Okay." You can see his hands starting to shake a little. "Tell you what, just drop us 10 gold pieces for the toll, and we'll let you through."
Is that still in Goblin?
No, that one's in common.
I think we need to be running this in the other direction. How about you give us all of your gold, or we kill you?
Do you want to make intimidation too?
Sure.
Can I help?
Yeah.
Just give you advantage.
Boom.
Jesus. Goes, you know, when you put it that way, ah, and they all just kind of start running in the opposite direction.
Oh, that's not. You're supposed to give us your valuables before, or whatever. Never mind. Amateurs.
Oh. If you're still an ape, there's probably some feces for you up there to throw now.
Just because I'm in the ape form doesn't mean I actually do any of those things. But don't tell our new friend that.
Blue Jane says, if you guys are done getting to know the locals, I believe we're close to the surface.
Oh, thank God. Let's go.
So it has been a long night of climbing and walking, and you haven't rested, so you all do gain a point of exhaustion at this point. So just keep that in mind. But the more perceptive of you, let's see, probably everyone except Tack can begin to hear the sounds of the ocean above, sounds of wave crashing against shore. And sure enough, not much longer after that, you begin to see appears to be sunlight, and it is bright. You guys kind of making your way out the tunnel. There's a small little crack at the very surface between these two large boulders that are nestled up against each other. For most of you, it's fine to get through. Tiha, you can easily sneak through. Emrys and Kalen, you're pretty skinny. Hack, you're short, but you are pretty tough, robust, and round. You're not going to fit just squeezing through these rocks. How are you going to attempt to get through?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't have Misty step yet.
Can we just bust the rocks a little bit, or
You can try.
you could do something with that warhammer of yours?
Far be it for me to stand between a dwarf and smashing rocks, but if you'd like, I can just get you out of there by snapping my fingers.
Yeah, snap away.
Alright, I'll cast the Vortex Warp on
Nice.
our new buddy Hack.
All right.
I like that spell. I used it on Monday night, actually. For the
Oh,
first
yeah, it's
Nice.
great. Oh, shoot, it doesn't have the text there. Hold on. There we go. Oh,
All right.
It's a lot of fun.
So, Hack, you are teleported from one end, from the end of this tunnel towards a sandy beach beneath you. It is littered with, kind of grass and seashells and weeds growing through. But you all have made it. You are here, once again, on the surface, touching ground, blue sky above you. It is bright. You kind of have to, squint your eyes really hard in order to adjust, and even then, it takes several long minutes before you start to feel comfortable. Blue Jane, however, does not look happy. She has a long hood raised over her face now, and she just looks uncomfortable and is kind of slinking underneath a tree, trying to get some shade at least. Goes, maybe we should have waited till nightfall.
Sorry, I can't help you, lass. There's nothing I have.
That's all right. Just give me a moment, and hopefully we don't encounter anything too dangerous. I don't know how much help I'll be in the daytime. But let me move you guys over. You see, beautiful, serene blue ocean. You could smell fresh air and salt for the first time in forever. There's clear skies and trees all around you. For most of you, it's been maybe a week or two. For Hack, it's been I don't know, a year probably at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hack is certainly good to be in the sun again.
Kalen's gonna find a tree and not hug it, but he's gonna kind of just kind of touch it and kind of feel its magistry and
Sure.
He just kind of takes a moment and does that.
Definitely.
It's very good to be back up in the open air.
So as you guys look around, I did say it is mostly blue skies, but kind of directly above you and more kind of behind you, there are some grayish clouds. At first you think they're rain clouds, but then you realize that this is the smoldering of the volcano of the island on which you are on.
Is that where the dragon is?
Blue Jane says, yes, that's it. You can smell, like, not only just the salt of the ocean, but also, like, this sulfuric smell in the air. Despite there being, some nice greenery and trees around here, you can tell, kind of beyond as the elevation gets higher, as you get closer to the center of the island, the plant life looks a bit more decrepit and unhealthy. Darker, you could see some what looks to be a small, like, maybe dead forest up ahead, just a collection of dead trees and what look to be maybe, washed ashore ships, these splintered, fractured wooden structures. You also notice that out to the south, out on the open sea, there is a longship, no more than 50 feet long. It's not that far from the coast, actually.
Yeah, you cut out.
What?
Oh, I cut out. Hello?
Yeah, could you just repeat that last sentence?
Yeah, did you hear there's a longship about 50 feet out?
Okay, we got that.
Okay. Not super far from the coast. Looks like it might be anchored.
Do we see any movement on the shore here around us? Like people that might have come from that boat on the shore?
Make a perception check. Nice.
You and the rolls.
Yeah, damn. Emrys is having a good night. So in your immediate vicinity, no, but upon walking towards that direction a bit along the shoreline, you do see a small wooden rowboat that is, kind of nestled underneath some bushes. It looks like it's been attempted to hide, but not hidden very well. And there are some footprints leading away from that towards closer to the center of the island, what looks to be towards a more swampy kind of area.
Is there any indication who this boat might belong to? Like, does it look like a pirate ship or something like that?
Looks like it could be. There isn't currently a sail that is that is unfurled or anything, so you can't really identify any particular allegiance. I will say
it's not our boat, right?
no, it is not your boats. But Kalen and Tiha, can you guys both? You're looking at it. The make looks kind of familiar. I'm trying to think if I should make you roll. Yeah, just both give me a quick investigation check. Or I might allow a nature check for this too, if you wanted to do that. You have no idea, Tia.
Beats me.
It's still too bright out here.
Nice. Okay, Kalen, you immediately recognize the wood that this ship has been built out of, and it reminds you of the exact same type of kind of spruce tree wood that is abundant on Samra, the island of the Sturge pirates, where you obtained the dragon slaying sword. The pirates, you might remember, who are now supposedly your allies, who you put, what was his name? Larry?
Right,
in charge?
Larry, right? That sounds right?
Silver Tongue Larry or something like that. But you're pretty confident that this ship is from there.
Okay, I'll relay that to you. Well, I guess Tia is the only one who would remember that.
Then there were two.
Blue Jane says, I am familiar with the Sturge pirates. Dangerous, no?
We are not always on their best side, but it's interesting that they're here.
I would be cautious. We kind of left them quite tenuous. I'm not sure of the faith in their leadership.
But they are wily sorts. I wouldn't put it past them to be putting together an alliance with the Circle of Wildfire, because they just have this innate ability to just go out and try to make deals, but they're not really trustworthy, being pirates.
So the long ship itself that's out there, it's a small ship. In fact, it's kind of curious that they didn't just shore that one. But it doesn't look like there may be a small under cabin, but you can see, the most of the ship, what you can assume. It's like open to the sky, and it appears to be empty. Blue Jane, she's kind of looking out at it. She looks to you, Tiha. She says, Tiha, what do you say we go have a look-see and see if they left any goodies for us? Just like old times, huh?
Well, let's take a look.
So Kalen's gonna look.
Don't need any convincing. Yeah, go ahead, Kalen.
I was gonna say so there are footprints, you said, by the rowboat?
Yes.
All right, so Kalen would be looking at those
Mm-hmm.
and kind of wondering, kind of checking around to see, if they're in the vicinity.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check or investigation. Actually, this is probably investigation because you know where the footprints are. 19, nice. Okay, so you follow them a bit, and they go through some mud, and they're, kind of easy to track. Then through a small stream, maybe 200 or so feet north of here. You start to get a little bit farther from your friends, but they're still within eyesight. But as the terrain turns a bit more swampy, you hear some voices from up ahead.
All right, I'm being stealthy.
Okay, roll a stealth check, please. Okay, noted.
Has it been over? I don't know if my pass without a trace is still.
Yeah, it's been over an hour.
Okay.
And actually, I think because you're exhausted, you should have disadvantage on this. I think it's really a 13. Unless you have advantage from another source. Actually, I always forget the order of exhaustion, what the first thing is. Disadvantage on ability checks, yes. Okay, so it is a 13. So I will say, let me check their passives, because they're not great, but neither is 13. Meanwhile, Tiha, Blue Jane is getting ready to go into the water, swim over there. And she's like, now are you gonna turn into a whale or something, or are you gonna make me swim over there?
We haven't rested at all, right?
No, you have not.
Okay. Can't we take the rowboat?
She says, oh yeah, that works too.
Okay, let's take the rowboat.
Okay, so Kaylin, you see 3 individuals. Passive perceptions were 10 and 11, so you're lucky they do not see you. But you hear, you see 2 kind of shorter, stout humanoid figures kind of up ahead, maybe 100 feet ahead of you through the brush, and 1 taller, more slender figure. And can you make a perception check just to see if you can understand what they're saying? Nice, that's good. All right, so you hear one of the shorter figures utter out, "In the name of Captain Lascalar, give us back the girl."
Girl?
What are Emrys and Hack doing during this?
Lascalar's alive.
Well,
Trying to sneak with Kaylin, I guess.
Okay. Do you want to roll a stealth check?
I will try.
Hack would probably stick around with the 2 ladies.
All right.
He can walk on. I mean, as you guys are wading through the water, he's on top of it.
He's walking on water?
Yeah.
Nice.
What? How are you doing that?
He holds up his finger. Not the middle one.
Well, Emrys, you're with Kaylin, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Kaelin will whisper to Emrys, that we tangled with Lascalar before, and we presumed him to be, well, we didn't presume him to be dead, but he seemed to have disappeared. If they're pledging allegiance to Lascalar, I don't think we can trust them.
Good to know.
With your really good perception roll, Kaylin, you hear the other voice, the other individual, reply to them, and it appears to be a woman. And she says, "I don't know what you're talking about. The girl came to me in distress. I merely took her in, and frankly, your behavior seems to be rather intimidating, so I'm not sure I want to give her back." So meanwhile, you guys make your way to the longship. You climb in. There is no underneath, so this is all it is. There's some barrels of rum, what appears to be plenty of rations, lots of grain, nuts, jerky, a few oranges that are rotting. There is a treasure chest as well, which appears to be locked. Blue Jane is gonna gravitate towards that, and she's gonna attempt to. Actually, she doesn't have thieves' tools on her right now. Actually, no, she would have, and they gave her back all her stuff, so she will do that. So she's gonna try and pick this lock. And she does not with a 13. She says, "Damn, this is a tough one." But she says, "Hey, Hack, can you carry this back to shore?" She tosses you a treasure chest. About, I don't know, maybe the size of, I don't know, 2 by 4 feet or something like that. So it's heavy, but you can definitely carry it.
Yeah, okay.
And she's also rummaging through some more stuff. And Tia, you see her pick up a red vial. Vial of this red kind of viscous liquid. And she says, "Oh, this is the stuff. Perfect. Maybe I can use this to offset the effect the sunlight is having on me." And you see
Tia kind of looks at her side-eyed but doesn't say anything.
she opens it up and puts like her pinky in, and just kind of rubs it on her eyeball. She says, "Oh, a little better."
What does she rub it on?
Her eyeball.
Yuck.
That's intense.
She goes, better already. Says, "Well, I think we cleared these guys out." There doesn't seem to be anything hidden. It's a pretty open ship. If you want to make a investigation check to look for anything else, you can, but otherwise you can just return to shore.
Yep, let's head back to shore.
Yeah, let's head back.
Okay. So meanwhile, Kalen and Emrys, what are you guys doing? You hear this exchange going back and forth.
So we don't see the girl, right? Or the right? There's like a woman and a girl, right?
Nope, you don't see well, you see 3 figures.
Right.
See
Right.
2 kind of short, stout figures. One of them said the name of Captain Lascalar, goes back to the girl. The other is a taller female figure. And she's just kind of saying, even if I did know where she is, I wouldn't, I wouldn't hand her over to you. You seem like thugs.
All right. So
You can't kind of make out their faces or anything from this distance, or much more about them, their appearance. But if you wanted to get closer, you could. But I would require another stealth check if you wanted to do that.
right. And the others are gone.
Probably, yeah. They might be close to returning, but they went all the way out to the ship. I don't know. What would you guys be doing when you returned? Joining up with Kaelin and Emrys?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not sure where they are right now, Kaelin, but they are likely not far behind if you wanted to wait.
Yeah, I mean, I think we would just. I mean, they're just kind of. I would just be watching as this unfolds for now.
Okay. Sure.
There doesn't seem to be any reason to step in yet.
Mm-hmm. So
it feels like the sort of conversation that could turn into a fight. So
Yeah.
I'm just watching and waiting for that to happen if it does.
Yeah, I have my bow. I'm getting my bow ready.
Okay. So the rest of you guys approach, and kind of see Emrys and Kaelin crouching in the grass. Jane's kind of like, oh, maybe we should sneak. Might just be something up ahead. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Tia, can you roll a stealth check, please?
Looking at my spells.
You're good. 11. Okay. Tiha seemingly is lost in thought, thinking about what spells she's going to tune for the day. When you step on a particularly crunchy-looking branch, and it snaps. And you hear the conversation up ahead stop. And you hear the two voices of the pirates yell, "Who goes there? Show yourselves! We don't want any trouble."
So Kaelin will stand up, and he's got his bow out.
Okay.
And he'll say, the lady told you that the girl's not going anywhere with you, so I'd move along if I was you.
Okay. They kind of step out. You can see now these are two dwarves. They have the insignia of the Sturge pirate clan emblazoned onto the tunics that they're wearing, and they kind of both step forward. One of them stays a little further behind, and he says, walks up to you, Kaelin. He says, "And who the hell are you?"
Who I am doesn't matter. But it doesn't sound like this woman wants to talk to you anymore.
The other dwarf kind of chimes in. He says, "This here really ain't none of your business. Why don't you just scram?"
These are two dwarves.
Yeah.
So in Dwarvish, Hack would like to tell them that they're making a mistake.
Sure.
And they should just move on.
Okay. Kaelin and Hack, do you both want to roll intimidation? Or one of you can roll with advantage?
I think.
I'll let. I think Hack should roll with advantage.
Sure.
Right, since you're a dwarf.
Yeah, makes sense.
14. Okay, not great, but not bad. One of them says to the other, they kind of glare at you for a moment, and say in Dwarvish, "We're outnumbered here. Doesn't look like we have much of a choice. But,
I kind of say, even if it was just me, you should run."
I kind of laugh. He says, "Not sure why you're getting involved with something that doesn't concern you. The woman's a witch, so I wouldn't trust anything she says. But we know when we're not wanted. So if it's all this over some slave girl, then why don't we head back to Samra?"
Hey, what? Oh no, I wasn't there when they mentioned Lascalar.
No.
Okay.
So Kaelin would, I can. Does Lascalar live?
He says, "What do you mean? As far as I know, it's been a while since we've been back to Samra. Why? Did something happen?
I don't know. We haven't been in summer for quite some time ourselves.
Make a deception check. $21. Nice. Kind of look to each other and say, all right. Say, where'd you get that treasure chest?
What treasure chest?
Kalen looks over and kind of pieces it together where they were. Kind of rolls his eyes like, "For crying out loud."
We took it off that boat. What of it?
It says, he'll actually just walk up, if you'll allow him, and put a hand on your shoulder. He says in Dwarvish, says, look, buddy, we don't want to fight. You could tell we're outnumbered here and we wouldn't stand a chance. But if we return back home with nothing to show for it, then I think our heads are going to be on a platter. Even if we can't have the whole thing back, at least leave us some.
Hack will kind of look at, Tiha and Kalen and Emerus, and looking for a recommendation.
We aren't thieves.
Here, you take it, but we would like to keep we'd like to keep the women, please. They don't seem like they want to go with you.
Says, thank you. But believe me, we have no intentions of bringing this witch back with us, I assure you.
What do you want with the girl, anyway?
The girl, well, she's Oldag's niece here. That's all. He's just concerned.
Who's concerned?
We are, the both of us. Oldag especially. It's if your niece got lost on an island, wouldn't you be worried?
It's your niece that you're looking for?
Yes.
Can I insight that?
Yeah, sure. No idea.
Can I insight that?
Sure. He seems a little shady, a little untrustworthy. Says, but look, the witch says she's taken a liking to her, so if this is what it's gonna come down to, then so be it. Just give her a nice life, eh, lady? Maybe we'll come back and visit. They say, why don't we get going? And they kind of take the treasure chest and head over to their rowboat. And they row off.
Uncle of the year.
The woman now, you can see, she is slender. She has a grayish blue tint to her skin. Almost a scale-like pattern on her face, almost. Auburn hair that is graying in areas to contrast it. And she's wearing just kind of furs and little garments made out of seaweed and things. She's a Triton. And she approaches you all. You can see her webbed feet. She bows humbly. She says, thank you. I'm so glad you showed up. Those thugs were intimidating me, and I just didn't know what I was going to do.
It wasn't their niece they were after, was it?
Oh no, that's a bunch of hogwash. I mean, she's a young dwarvish girl, but she came to my cottage, clearly in distress. She was malnourished. She said she needed help, so I took her in. I baked her some pie, and not long after, these thugs showed up at my door, and they started intimidating me, claiming that the girl was her niece. They want her back, but I couldn't hand that poor innocent young lady over. She was so nice to me. She clearly needed help.
Could I get a read on that?
Can you get a read on it?
Like, does that seem...
Do you want to roll an insight check?
Yeah.
Sure.
Kellen will say that, my grandmother told me stories of little girls who get lost in the forest and are befriended. It doesn't always turn out as a happy ending.
She sort of looks confused for a moment. She says, "What do you mean? Do you think the girl could be a fey creature or something?"
I'm just saying that there's many dangers in the forest.
Oh, she doesn't appear dangerous at all. Besides, I've always wanted a daughter. I think I could take good care of her. Certainly better than those two thugs.
Where is this little girl?
Oh, she's over at my cottage, just over yonder.
I think we should investigate this.
Agreed.
She says, would you like to come visit? I'll happily make you a meal. You look tired, all of you. Where did you come from?
Do an insight check.
You guys are not sure. I mean, she seems nice.
I'm going to cast that on myself and try to get as close as I can to this person.
Okay. You go ahead and cast it. Says, "Oh, what was that? Are you all right?"
Yeah, just a little protection. That's kind of my thing. And I'm just curious if there's any response when I get within 15 feet of her and then get closer.
No, doesn't seem like it.
Okay.
She says, I know a little bit of magic myself, actually. Nothing too advanced, but just enough to help me get by when you're living alone as a woman out in the wilderness. Some parts of life can be quite hard, but I wouldn't give it up for anything.
All right, let's go see this young girl.
All right, shall we? And she kind of begins leading you all towards this muddy forest with the volcano smoldering above you, going towards her cottage. And I think this might be a good place to stop for the evening.
All right.
So, you guys are suspicious of everyone, huh?
And it's suspicious of everyone and knowing nothing about anyone.
No, it's good.
Some way the way you were playing her, I don't know. There's just something about it.
It's just creepy that this lady out of nowhere wants to adopt a child that another group also wants.
Well, the dwarf said that she was a witch, right? So we're already going to be that's going to be in our head that she might be a witch.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's unreasonable to be suspicious.
Hey, well,
right.
We'll have to find out next time.
See you guys later.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Thanks
See
for
you
playing, guys.
Right.
Have a good 2 weeks. Bye.